So let's come into an easy cross-legged seat. And closing the eyes, just allowing your sit bones to really ground down into your mat. Feel the spine growing nice and tall. Crown of the head all the way up to the ceiling. Taking a moment here to observe how you're feeling, how the body is feeling, how you're feeling emotionally. And let's start to invite the breath into the body, breathing into the belly, ribs, and your collarbone area. So full yogic breath. And as you exhale, you're releasing the breath from the belly, ribs, and collarbones. Just taking a few rounds here, breathing fully into the full expanse of your lungs. Then exhale, releasing from the belly, ribs, and collarbones. So as we do this, on the inhalation, we're nice and long, rounding down to the sit bones, lengthening the spine up. Crown of the head all the way to the ceiling. And as you exhale, maintain that length, but you're softening your face, neck, chest, and head. So we're nice and tall through the spine. At the same time, the body is relaxed, so we're not carrying tension as we work through our pranayama. And as you sit here in your cross-legged pose, if you feel you have any tension in your groin area or around your hips, just observing if you can relax that with each exhalation, but keeping the structure nice and tall by engaging those muscles around the navel. Now for the next exhalation, let's just take a deep inhale through the nose and exhale out of the mouth, releasing a deep sigh. So inhale through the nose, exhale. Doing this two more times. Inhale through the nose. And last time, inhale through the nose. And let's just take the shoulders up to the ears and drop them down. One more time, up to the ears, drop them down. One more time, up to the ears, and drop them down. So when we move into our Ujjayi Pranayama, just bringing your shoulders down away from the ears, backs of the palms on your knees, tip of your index finger and thumb touch. And then feeling that support in the lower belly muscles, you're lifting up the pelvic floor muscles, bringing the belly button in towards the spine to give you that nice supported length. And then the chin comes into the chest, lengthening the back of the neck. Slight restriction in the back of the neck and going into our Ujjayi breathing. Inhaling and exhaling evenly. So if it helps you, you can have a count of 4 for your inhale and a count of 4 for your exhale. But if the count disturbs you, just focusing on the sound of the breath. Then as we continue, trying to extend your exhalation. Maybe to a count of 6 or 8. We're working with a deep exhalation. So we use our ujjayi breathing to switch on the parasympathetic nervous system, our relaxation response. So really allow yourself to go deeply into this practice. Now to your next exhalation, let's take the inhale and hold the breath inside the body for a count of 2 or 4. And then exhale fully and hold the breath outside the body for a count of 2. So as you hold the breath in and out, what you want to make sure is that you have a nice, soft, relaxed chest, throat, and face, so that you're not squeezing and tensing as you work with your breath. Now, after the next exhalation, is coming into 2 rounds of ujjayi breathing, where we're smoothly inhaling and exhaling. And after your 2 rounds of ujjayi breathing, let's move into our Kapalabhati breathing to warm up the body. So you can take 3 rounds We did round of 18, second round 24, and a final round 30 pumps. So you know how to do this practice, so we'll go into it in your own time. If you're not familiar with Kapalabhati breathing, just stay with your Ujjayi breathing. So let's take an inhale. Then inhaling, holding the breath inside the body, bring the chin to your chest. Again, keeping the chest nice and soft here. Then when you're ready, chin comes up to level 10 and you exhale. And then going into the second round, inhale. Then when you're done inhaling, holding the breath inside the body, chin to chest. When you're ready, coming back to level 10 and exhale. Final round, inhale and start pumping. Then right inhaling, holding the breath inside the body, keeping the chest nice and soft, chin to chest. And when you're ready, bringing the chin up to level 10, exhaling, and taking 5 more rounds of Ujjayi breathing. So observing the difference in your Ujjayi breathing compared to when you started. Maybe you can deepen those inhales and exhales. When you've completed your 5 rounds, gently bringing the chin up to level 10, opening the eyes, releasing your mudra fingers, and then let's come into a child pose. So come forward on that. Bringing your big toes together, take the knees wide apart, sit bones coming down. And then stretching the hands forward, your forearms are off the mat, fingers are spread nice, Hastabandha hands, active fingers. So the tailbone is moving all the way to the back of the mat, crown of the head moving forward, shoulders moving down towards your hips, and you press your fingers strongly into the mat. You're pressing the fingers into the mat, the hands stay where they are, and the shoulders move away from the earth. Soften the belly. Deep inhale here, and exhale. And then let's walk our hands over to the right. And softening the belly, softening that left shoulder down to the mat. Bringing your forehead in line with your knee. And making sure that your sit bones are grounded down onto the mat or towards your heels. Then let's inhale, come back to center. And exhale, coming over to the left. Softening the right shoulder down to the mat. Down through the neck, grounding down to both sit bones. And then let's come back to center. Come onto all fours. Let's come onto our hands and knees and take 3 rounds of cow and cat breathing. Let's start with the base of the spine. As you inhale, lift it up to the ceiling, belly comes down towards the mat. Rolling the shoulders back, open the chest, please. As you exhale, tailbone tucks, lifting the spine, dropping the head down, press the hands into the mat. Your shoulder blades separate. So walking with your own breath, moving vertebrae by vertebrae. That's fine. As you're walking through your cat, feel like your heels have fallen out to the side, tuck the toes. Make sure your heels are parallel so that a nice number 11 position. Let's come into a neutral spine and quickly warm the body up. Let's go into bird dog, pressing this back foot or the right foot into the mat. Having your wrists in line with your shoulders. Float that leg up. Keep the belly tucked in. So you're already strong and working through your legs at this point, straighten the back leg, and then we take the opposite hand off. So there's no weight in this wrist and knee. We're working through the midsection of the body. After 3 breaths, coming down with the hand, and moving mindfully, so we're nicely activating that left foot, activating the glutes as you float the left leg up, maybe into the spine, and taking the right hand out. Then nice long leg. And coming down with the hand and knee, and then we do the leg lifts to the side, the dolphin exercise to activate the glute muscles on the side. So hips are level, and then just lifting that knee a few inches off and coming down. So let's take 5 on each side. So making sure we're not opening the hip out, hips are level. Lifting very slightly, making sure your hips are at that level. And then from here, let's take the right leg out. So your foot is in line with your knee. Even distribution of weight on your hands. So I'll just turn this way so you can see what we're doing. And then from here, we're going to again keep the hips level. Flex that foot. And you just want to lift it up very slightly. So we're activating this hip and inner thigh area. And as you're lifting up, again, the hips are not flying off anywhere. The hips just stay where they are. Just doing 3 on each side, taking it a little bit slow so that we can really work into those small muscles at the top of the leg. Keep nice and level and onto the other side. Good. And then let's come back to center. And let's take the right leg out again. This time, press the foot into the floor. And press your foot into the floor and you're sitting back, coming forward. 2 more here. And then let's, on the third one, just stay back here. So it's like a version of child pose with one foot extended. And then let's come back to center. Take it on the other side. So this time you're flattening the left foot onto the floor and then coming back and forward. Back, forward. Third time, let's stay here. Breathe. And then let's come back. We're just staying with that slightly wide-legged position. So I'll just come front onto you. So you're on your left knee. This time you're coming up, taking this right leg out, pressing it into the mat. And we're opening the left palm up to the ceiling, sliding the right hand along that right leg and just stretching out this side. Breathing. Again, making sure the shoulder is away from your ears. Strong through the core. And then let's come back. Bring your hands down, change legs. Bring hands back onto our hips. This time opening the right palm up to the ceiling, sliding that left hand all the way. Breathe. Shoulders away from the ears. Strong to the middle body. What did you get? So early in the morning. And then let's come back. Our legs onto our all position. Cross the ankles 1 time. And let's come to lie on our beds. Let's come all the way down, using our stomach and muscles. And then coming into our tabletop position, tailbone down into the mat. Knees come up. Let's hold them parallel here for a moment. And then pressing your hands into your sides. So if your knees are coming over your navel or your ribs, take them all the way out so they're 90 points. Press your hands into those knees pressing into the hands, and then straighten the legs for 1, 2, 1, 2. So we're doing 3 on each side. 1 and 2. And then let's place the arms on either side of the hips and take both feet up to the ceiling. So if you feel you're coming again off your tailbone, you need to come down onto the tailbone, straighten the legs. They may not be completely straight at 90. That's perfectly fine. Keep the feet flexed. Just holding here and breathing. Relax your neck, chest, rib area here, working from the navel and below. And let's take the feet wide. Bring them back to center nice and slow so we're not swinging around or working through those legs. So 1, checking that the shoulders are relaxed. And then keeping that left leg where it is, let's take the right down to the mat, cover it, and bring it back up. Then comes down and back up. 2 more on each side. And let's slowly bring the legs down together. Lengthen the tailbone on the toes as they hover about 6 inches off the mat. And taking the hands up, gazing towards your toes. Breathing. And let's gently come down. And let's take the knees wide, the outer edges of the mat. Bring both knees down towards the right. Both shoulders on the mat. And let's take both knees to the left. And then give yourself a hug here. Walk from side to side. And then let's bring ourselves up to sit. Cross the legs in front. And step back into the downward facing dog. So it's your first downward facing dog. Let's make sure that we're really distributing the weight on the 2 hands and 2 feet. Your heels don't need to reach the mat. Can even be off the mat, but the tailbone is going all the way up to the ceiling. Shoulders are moving away from the ears. Then let's just bend the right knee and really ground down to the left heel. And then let's change, rounding down to the right. Bending that left knee. And again, checking that the shoulders are rolling away from the ears. The head is generally between your biceps. Breathing here. And then let's start walking our feet in front of the mat, in between our hands. And then keeping the knees bent, bring your ribs onto your thighs, hang your hands down, hang your neck down, really release the back of the neck. That's the part that we're scrunching up a lot, working on computers and devices. So really let go. Breathe. And then we're going to keep the hands heavy, heavy. Roll ourselves all the way up and down. And from here, stepping to the top of the mat, you won't be able to probably see the top of my head, but that's fine. We're coming into Surya Namaskara. So, nice Tadasana feet. If your bum is sticking out, really length, activating the glutes. Shoulders roll out, active hands. Open the palms, inhale up, palms touch. Back of the palms touch, breathing forward. Come into your forward bend. Taking a bend in the knees here if you need. Or straight in the knees. Palms to the floor, right leg back, right knee comes to the mat, and come into present. Pressing down through both feet, lengthen the tailbone, opening from the upper back. Exhale down, tuck the toes, step back, reach down. From here, let's come forward, high jump, plank. Keep those bum muscles active. Knees to the mat, chest and chin comes down, slide, chest forward for baby cobra. Elbows in towards your hips. And pressing back into down. Take that right leg up to the ceiling. Hold it here. Straight leg, flex the foot. Hips are level. They're not open out. Keeping it nice and level. Step the right leg forward. Step the knee to the mat. Rounding down through both feet. Long tailbone into present. Exhale down, up back toes. Start, step forward, inhale into your mat. Exhale, reach forward, bend. Open palms, coming all the way up and back. And let's open the palms and head up. Shoulders away from the ears here, back to the palms touch. Hinge forward. Weight to the front of the feet. So if your bum is going back, Breathe forward. Inch and forward. Release the leg. Inhale into a flat back. You can have your hand on your shins or your thighs for the flat back. Back into a forward bend. Hands to the mat. Left hand, left leg back. Left goes down. Inhale. Open the heart. Back down. Up the back toes. Step into the upward. From here, roll onto the balls of the feet. At this point, your glutes and your leg muscles are switched on, so you can come into a nice strong plank. Knees to the mat. Chest and chin comes down. Slide forward. Baby cobra. Back into down dog. Bring the left leg up to the ceiling. Holding here in this three-legged dog for a moment. Flex the back foot. Evenly distribute the weight between the two hands. Stepping forward. Right knee down. Present lunge. Come back down, up back toes. Stepping forward into half forward bend. Full forward bend. Open palms strong to the legs. And come all the way up. And back down. Great. Open the palms, inhale up. Back of the palms touch, hinge forward, hinge forward. Inhale into a flat back. Exhale into forward bend. Hands to the mat, step the right leg back. Right knee comes down. Inhale. Press down through the feet. Lengthen the tailbone. Open out through the upper back. Coming down. Back into the upper. From here, inhale forward. Coming into knees, chest, chin, or half chaturanga, or chaturanga. Sliding forward, baby cobra. And into down dog. Step the right leg up to the ceiling. Step it forward. This time staying in runner's lunge. Strong back leg. Placing that left hand on the mat. Let's open up into this lunge twist. Come down. Hold this runner's lunge. Strong legs. Taking the hands back. And we're coming into a high crescent lunge. So if your back leg is bending, straighten it out, lengthen the tailbone. Hands to the mat, step the back leg forward, back. Exhale into forward bend, open palms. And then let's inhale up, back to the palms, touch, exhale. We're going to be deeper in that forward bend, but this spine once half forward bend, the forward bend, and left leg back, into the mat. Inhale, into present lunge. Exhale down. Tuck the back toes, step into your down dog. From here, active legs, come into plank. From here, knees, chest, chin. Or if you're taking half chaturanga, lengthen that tailbone, activate your glutes, going down. Sliding into the cobra. Back into that. Okay, let's take the left leg up. Step it forward. Runner's lunge. Again, at this point, straighten that back leg, nice and active. Hand onto the mat. Let's open up. Into the lunge twist, keeping the hips level. And exhale down. Strong through the legs, hands come back. And we lift up into right crescent lunge. And let's come back down. And back leg forward. Inhale into the flat back. Exhale, in the forward bend. Open the palms. And down. And then back up. And let's open the palms. Inhale up. Back the palms up. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale into forward. This time stepping both legs back. Left leg back. Down and facing dog. We're taking 2 breaths here in your down dog. Nice. Spread fingers, hasta the hands. So your fingers are not moving off the mat at any point. Feet pressing in, heels going back. Breathe in, soften the belly. Making sure the shoulders moving away from the ears. And from here, let's roll forward into the plank. Shoulders moving back into the sockets. Nice engage the core area. Active to your feet. Please come down. Half chaturanga. Or just chin. Baby cobra. And let's come into down dog. From here, lift up onto the balls of the feet. So now use high heels and the down dog. Take the heels back down. Then lifting up. Heels back down. Lifting up. Then bring the knees to the mat. Bring the elbows down to the mat at the same time. And then let's take the elbows off. Bring them back down at the same time. Elbows off, bring them back down at the same time. And then bring the knees together, feet together. And then from here, your elbows are in line with your shoulders, but interlacing the fingers, preparing for dolphin. So this outer edge of your forearms pressing into the mat, wrist is pressing into the mat, tips of the thumbs are touching. So from here, legs are strong and active. Drop the head down. Come into a nice cut back here. And lift up. Like you're going into a downward facing dog. Drop the head down. Walk the feet in towards chest. Breathe. Relax the neck and the upper traps. It will work in the fronts of the thighs. And then let's bring the knees down. Take the hands back, coming into a forward fold. Breathe in here. Dolphin is a heating pose. You feel the heat in the body. Breathe. And then let's lift the head off the mat, slide the hands forward, and come back into that dolphin setup. So you have the option of taking dolphin one more time, but then change the interlace of the fingers. And for those of you who practice dolphin 2, at least 3 rounds of dolphin 2, if not 5. So you really want to be strong in your dolphin 1, your shoulders coming nice and back. Lifting up, dropping the head down, active through the feet. Come into your dolphin 1, strong setup. And then let's inhale, chin to thumbs, and exhale back. Inhale, chin to thumbs, exhale back. Inhale, chin to thumbs, exhale back. Taking 2 more if you can. And then you come back and hold dolphin, making sure that neck is nice and relaxed. And then release the mat. And into your child pose. Really allow the shoulders to melt down towards the mat here. Breathe deeply. Reconnecting with the Ujjayi breath practice from the beginning of the class. Finding the breath. And then let's lift the head off the mat. Slide the hands forward. Come back up into downward dog. Completing the journey around Surya Namaskara. Coming forward. Put your flag. Taking knees, just chin. Half chaturanga or chaturanga. Sliding forward into baby cobra. Back into down. From here, taking two nice deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. And then stepping, hopping or walking your feet to the mat. Inhale into a flat back. Exhale into forward. Open palms. High up. And then let's bring our hands down heart center. Closing the eyes. Taking a few moments. Breathe here. Covering the breath. So take a sip of water if you need at any point. Just observing how the weight is distributed between the two feet. Are you swinging from side to side? What can you do to kind of even that out? Is the breathing help that? Then let's come back to the top of the mat in Akadasana. Let's open the palms in and out. Back the palms touch half forward into a flow. Inhale into flat. Exhale into forward bend. This time we're stepping with a step back. So our right leg is forward. And like we did earlier, we're going into our high lunge. So this is not a back bend. You don't want to there. Lengthen out. Both hip points are facing forward. We have a nice strong back leg. Breathe into the back part. Breathe in. 3 breaths here. And then let's take our hands to our hips. Step that back leg slightly further forward. And then you're bringing your front knee over the front ankle. And then coming onto the ball of the foot. So it's like we did in ball dog. And then from here, strong back leg, fully active. We're going to straighten that front leg to come into warrior 3 legs. Level the hips, find a focal point. And breathe. Engage the bundles. And then bend that front leg to softly bring that back leg down. And then let's bring the hands to the mat. Step back into down. From here, let's come forward. Into a high jump flag. Please just chin. Chaturanga, half chaturanga. Take a medium jump circle twice. Back into down. Breathing here. And then set the leg up. Step it forward. Again, starting with that mama's lunge set up. And then we're coming into high present lunge. We step the left leg back, so we pick it up. Yeah. And again, ribs in. So your bum is working strong. So one leg might be easier to work with in balancing poses. Just bring that also into your awareness. Then let's take the hand to the hips. Step that back leg further in. front knee over front ankle. So leaning forward. And then strong back leg, you're not kicking out. Front leg straightens to float the back leg off. So this is like bird dog. You just have a standing leg. Level the hips, find your focal point. Engage those bundles, core muscles. And let's gently come back down. Hands to the mat. And let's step the back legs forward. Inhale into a flat back. Exhale into a forward bend. Open arms. And back up. Let's open arms. Inhale up. Touch. Down. Inhale into a flat back. Exhale into forward bend. This time, stepping the right foot back. Coming back into your runner's lunge. From here, inhale up. High crescent lunge. Trying to go deeper with that front leg. Bring it more to reality. Hands on the hips. Walk that back leg in. So keep your hands on your hips, or this time maybe take the hands forward. And then we're lifting up into full warrior three. Breathing. And exhale down. This time let's take the hands on the hips. Straighten up, straighten that front leg. So now you have both feet facing forward. The hip width apart. Hip points facing forward. And then from here, hands on the hips. Hinging forward. Into pyramid. So what I want to see here is a nice straight back with level hips, strongly working through the fronts of your thighs, keeping your hands maybe on that front shin, or if you have blocks, or onto the floor, as long as you keep the spine long, avoiding this humpback situation to get the head to the knee. You want to soften the belly, lengthen the spine, and that's how we're coming down towards that front back. Lengthen the back of the neck. And then let's bend the front knee. Step that back leg further back, so you're back to Nana's lunge. And step back into down dog. From here, taking a vinyasa of your choice. Let's come forward. Let's just chin off. And up dog. You're in up dog, your thighs are off the mat. Shoulders are rolled back. Take 2 recovery breaths. In your down dog. Stand right leg goes up. Step it forward. So you're back to runner's lunge. So runner's lunge is our starting point. At this point itself, you want that back leg nice and strong. And then from here, coming into high press. Take those ribs in towards the back body. So as straight as possible. Maybe going further down with this front leg. And then from here, hands to the hips. Step the back leg forward. Hands stay on your hips or take them forward. Knee over the front ankle. Active back foot. Come up into full warrior. Flex the foot at the back. Level hips. Breathe. And let's gently bend the front leg. Softly bring that back leg down. Hands to the hips. And then we straighten that front leg. Step the back leg further into the knee. We're hinging forward. Pyramid pose. So keeping those hips level means that front hip needs to sometimes go further back. Back hip comes forward. And then staying with the hands on the shin. So you have a nice long back. or on your blocks or coming in. Breathe in here. And then let's step that back to the back. Come back into runner's lunge. Step back into down dog. Take 3 breaths here. Coming forward into plank. Let's hold the plank here. So roll the shoulders back. Belly into the spine. Active bum, active thighs. Basically active everything except your neck and your face. All good. And let's exhale back into down dog. And walk the feet to the front of the mat. Inhale into flat back. Exhale into forward bend. Staying with this forward bend here, bring the weight to the front of the feet. Hold onto your ankles so you can roll the shoulders back and away from the ears. And then come down, move further. Inhale into a flat back. Exhale into forward bend. Hands to the mat. Step both legs back, left and right. Come into downward facing dog. Take a vinyasa here. Please just chin. Downward. Baby cobra. Up dog. And back into down dog. From here, let's bring the knees to the mat. Cross the ankles up high. And come all the way. Sit. Now, in our standing poses, we did wide leg, the hips were closed in those poses. So for our seated pose, we're going to take the feet wide. So come to sit lengthwise on your mat like this, so that easy on your heels. So this is basically how we want to find ourselves with nice flexed feet. I'm just going to turn around so you can see me. If you feel that you're kind of there, just take maybe a slight bend in the knees. See how that feels. Because what I want you to do is hold on to your shins and lengthen back. So this was my least favorite nemesis pose for a long time. But I now made friends with it a little bit, so it comes with practice. So I'm bending the knees, lengthening the spine, or straightening the back to keep the spine nice and long. Just hold it here for a moment, observing how it feels in the body. And then let's bring this left heel into your left thigh. And then we're twisting ourselves over towards that right knee. And then we're walking the hands forward. So this is a variation of Janusasana. It's not the traditional pose. It's more with a wider leg. And then staying here or holding onto your shin. But again, we're lengthening the spine, taking the shoulders away from the ears. So if you find you're here, and you can hold onto your toes, just let go of the toes, come on the shins, feel the lengthening of the spine, it feels so much better. Maybe hang onto the toes. I know some of you have very open hamstrings, so maybe even hands onto your heels. Breathing. Soften the belly. As you soften the belly, lengthen. And then let's release. Come out, pause. And then let's open the left leg. Come back onto the tops of our sit bones. In this start position. Stay here for a moment. And then let's bring the right heel into your right thigh. And from here, Back this heel over. So you're bringing your torso in line with this left knee. Rounding down to the sit bones. Just observing where you go today. Soften the belly. You might be staying here or with your hands on your shins. So wherever you are, looking for more length in this torso region. Going onto that shin, feel that length. And then maybe we find a bit more space. So we're always checking that we have the shoulders going back. Softening the belly. Feeling the stretch in that side of the body towards the back. And then let's slide hands up. Come back into this position. And then let's bring the feet together. Come forward. And then we're coming into Dandasana. And from here, flex feet. We step the hands 1 palm distance away from your bum. Fingers are facing towards your heels. Roll the shoulders back. So a nice cow back here, as much as you can. Press the heels into the mat to lift up. Reverse plank. Glutes are working strongly here. Bring the chin into the chest. Gaze towards your heels. Then maybe taking your head back and bringing the feet down to right again. And if you're coming down, you take your head back, thumb down first, and then your head comes up. Cross the legs in front. Come forward, go to down dog. So you're welcome to stay in your down dog here, or move forward, stay back, or take your knees. And come back, move your down dog. Bring the knees to the mat. Cross ankles on time, on the sit. And then from here, we're bringing the soles of the feet together. For Konasana. Interlace the fingers. Place them underneath the feet. Heels are as close in to your groin as possible. And we have a nice straight back. And then from here, close the eyes. As you inhale, maybe the knees open out. As you exhale, they move towards the floor. Bring your feet parallel, so that means your heels are lifting off the mat. And your heels are in line with your big toe. And again, if you feel you're going into a hunchback or a curved lower back, inhale, roll onto the fronts of the sit bones. Use those bandhas to help you straighten up. Shoulders away from the ears. And then softening those groins. Each exhalation, maybe finding a little bit more space in this vertical maximum. And then let's come back into hook sitting. So we have two options in the next pose. You're placing your right shin parallel to the top edge of the mat. And then lean back, flex your left foot, and bring your left heel onto the top of the right knee. So we're coming into parallel. If this is excruciating, you have the option of Sukhasana or this pose where your heel will be in front of your knee. But if not, to approach your file of, you can lean back, stay here, still engage through your pose, you're not standing back, and then maybe walking forward, staying here, checking with your breath, and then lean up, and if this is comfortable here, you can go into the forward bend. So even in the forward bend, we are keeping it nice and long in spine. We're not humping the upper back area, lengthen the neck. Soften the belly, finding a little bit more space. Let's just walk the hands back, stay with the pose, and then we're just twisting over to the left, taking your right hand on the outside of the left knee, and taking the left hand behind you, using forward that way. Keeping the shoulders both away from the ears. The twist is very much in that upper spine area. So this is how it will look. Soften the belly, soften sternum. This is a challenging pose. Some days it works better, some days it feels awful. Just observing whatever's coming up today. And then let's go to unwind from the twist. Keep the feet flexed, lean back, knees back, and then let's go on the other side. So this time, left foot shin is parallel to the mat. Flex the foot, right foot comes onto the top. The ball, that your heel comes onto the top of that left knee. And then staying back here, easing forward with each breath. Working across the board. And how we can go deeper is with the breath. So with each exhalation, finding a little bit more space, maybe lengthen the spine, up forward. And wherever you are, we just keep breathing. And then let's come all the way up. This time we're twisting over to the right, the back of your left arm on the outside of that right knee, and then twisting using over that right shoulder. So if you feel your shoulders coming up here, just exhaling and releasing it away from the ears. And then unwind from the twist, come back to center, keep feet flexed as you come out of this pose. And then let's cross the legs in front and come forward and just take a child pose. The big toes together, knees wide apart. Observing how this hips are feeling here. Still forearms are off the mat, so it's still active child pose. Rolling the shoulders over the ears. Softening the belly. Going back to our Ujjayi breathing here to reconnect to the breath. Soften the sternum, soften the neck, soften the face. From here, lifting up Let's bring the knees together. Come all the way to the back of the mat. You're sitting on your heels with thunderbolts. And then we just lift up, stretching the fronts of those ankles. And then let's take the hands forward. Keep that press in the ankles and your toenails pressing into the mat. Keep that feeling as you come forward. Nice. Engage your core and then coming all the way down to lie on your bed. From here, let's take the hands forward. Press these toenails into the mat. Ankle bones coming together, heels slightly apart. And then lifting up, bring the hands on either side. Thumbs in line with your nipples, elbows in towards your wrists to come up into baby cobra. Take your hands off the mat. Press the feet in, pubic bone pressing into the mat, curling up into the cobra. And then lightly placing the hands down, maybe going up slightly further until the skin above the navel is still on the mat. Pressing the feet down, breathing. Work those legs. And then let's exhale from there. Okay, cover the breath. Slide the hands back. Come into Shavasana. So same feet. This time, belly finger forehead off the mat, shoulders, palms come above your bum, feet off. Gazing forward. You have a long neck. You're looking towards the top of your mat. Take the feet out wide. Straight through those wrists. Bring them back, hold. And let's come back. Hold the pillow with your hands. Get a nice recovery breath. Just observing the energy from your back bends without shaking anything out. Just breathing. And then let's take the hands back from the forehead to the mat. This time we're bending the knees, flex the feet. So imagine your feet are going to press up to the ceiling. And then from here, lengthen your tailbone, engage your glutes, hug the knees into each other, lift them off the mat. Really lengthen the tailbone. And come down. You can cover the breath by going back up one more time. Really hug the knees into each other. Lengthen the tailbone, glutes switch on, knees in, lift. And good work, guys. And then we're sliding the hands back to hold on to the thinnest part of the ankles. Big toes touch. And then as you inhale, kick into those hands to lift up into Dhanurasana. Keep those knees coming in towards each other, lifting and opening the gaze up towards the ceiling, the crease of the ceiling. Breathe. And then gently come back. Slowly release the legs. Good work, guys. And from here, taking a recovery breath, let's push back into child pose for a moment. This time, allowing those forearms to relax onto the mat. So you have a nice relax. Child pose here, just letting everything go, softening, releasing from the middle of your chest, from your belly, from your hips. And then let's come up, cross the ankles from behind, come to sit, and let's bring ourselves to lie on the mat for Shavasana. Let's come entire muscles engaged, coming all the way down. So your feet are hip-width apart, ankles falling out. Tailbone lengthened towards the heels. Ribs softened towards the back body. Palms open to the ceiling, shoulders away from the ears, chin into the chest. From here, press all your fingernails into the floor and then release them. Relax the fingers. From here, closing the eyes with each exhalation, and softening and releasing further and further into your shavasana. Relaxing your face, the neck, softening the chest, softening the belly, and then each exhalation, softening all the way down. Using the shavasana to allow the body to absorb the benefits of your practice on a cellular level. That's probably the most important task in the asana practice. And we begin to make small movements with our hands and feet. Fingers and toes, wrists. And take your hands above and behind you. Just have a nice stretch, like you're just waking up for the first time today. Inhale through the nose as you stretch. And exhale, release. One more time. Then diving into a pool of nice cool water. Stretch yourself up. And exhale, side up. Then rolling over onto the right. Coming into a recovery position for a moment. Let's come up to sit in and easy cross the toes. We'll just take 3 rounds of seated breathing because it's been quite a hot practice, quite humid. So I think all of you know how to do the seated breathing, where you're breathing over the wet tongue. So when your tongue is straight or rolled, doesn't matter. So you stick the tongue out, lift your chin up, breathe in over the wet tongue. Then bring the tip of the tongue to the back of your top teeth onto the hard palate. Chin into the chest, hold the breath inside the body. Lift the chin up, exhale. 2 more times. Tip of the tongue to the back of the top teeth. Chin into the chest, hold the breath in. And then ready, exhale. One last round. And then exhaling. And coming back into 5 rounds of recharge breathing. So with the seated breathing, you should immediately feel the body cooling down. You can practice this at any point in the day where you feel very hot and bothered. Let's bring our hands to heart center. Using the practice one arm. My other is within you, and the entire universe flows. My other is within you, which is the light from and that is stable, and and coming forward with gratitude to ourselves and the energy of the practice. Namaste. Thank you guys. Have a good, what's the day today? Good Thursday. And hopefully see you back on the mat soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, Sabi. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.